Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of free speech, we have a lot of free speech today here in this room in the European Parliament, and we should be grateful for that, because we don't know how long it goes with these things, and it's a great honor for me, and I am proud to be here in Brussels and to speak to you representing the foremost German human rights organization that stands up for the preservation of freedom and democracy against Islamic supremacism. The Citizens Movement Pax Europa. Thank you very much. Also Elisabeth, Alan, all the others that prepared that. A study from the University of Hamburg in 2007 reveals that 14% of Muslims in Germany prefer Sharia instead of democracy. 14%. That means that at least 500,000 persons in Germany are supporters of Sharia. 500,000 followers of Islamic supremacism. And what are those appeasers continue telling us? They tell us that it might be only a tiny minority of misunderstanders among all those millions of peaceful Muslims. Islamization seems only a fantasy, and we are simply Islamophobes and bigots. In the year 1928, 5 years before Hitler seized power in Germany, his Nazi party, NSDAP, numbered about 100,000 memberships, a fifth of the actual number of Sharia supporters. It was a tiny minority then too, right? So what do we learn from that history? Mahatma Gandhi should have said, the history teaches the people that the history teaches the people nothing. Again, we are living in the crossroads of the history. Already has at least 500,000 Islamic supremacists in Germany believe that Mohammed gave them the order to fight against people until they say that there is no God but Allah, that Mohammed is the messenger of Allah. They pray and pay zakat. Can we allow that? Do we permit that? Not at all. In the last 2 years, we had some good and also some bad news. Gerd Wilders was finally acquitted from hate speech charges, as well as Lars Hedegaard. But my friend Elisabeth, she was fined in Austria for telling the truth about Mohammed. Poor Europe. What does that mean for us? The Western world is not yet lost at all. We do still keep hope for a bright future, but we must fight for it. Alexander Knobs, a Dutch lawyer and professor of international criminal law in the University of Utrecht, commended the verdict on Gerd Wilders in this way. The judgment is in line with the case law of the European Court in Human Rights, which in 2010 held that only when certain statements incite to violence, there is a role for criminal law. Did Gerd Wilders incite to violence? No. Did Lars Hedegaard incite to violence? No. Did Elisabeth Savarich-Wolf invite to violence? No. Does the Quran incite to violence against unbelievers? Okay. If you say so. Freedom of expression is of high value and the elementary one of all human rights. Without freedom of speech, no other freedom will be left in future. Since the OIC, the Organization of the Islamic Conference, is pressuring year after year upon the United Nations and the Human Rights Council to criminalize and penalize any criticism of Islam, our action is needed worldwide. A further effort was started by OIC with the so-called Istanbul process, which we heard today about it last year, and another attempt to stop free speech. Therefore, I'm happy that here in Brussels, and this European conference takes place in order to work together worldwide to stop Sharia, stop Islamic supremacism, stop Islamization, and stop limiting free speech. I prepared a report for you, and I think everybody got a copy this morning. I've seen there are some left at the entrance who didn't get one. And this is a report about the present situation of free speech in Germany. Please read it carefully. You will read about the German journalist Michael Mannheimer. Maybe Michael, you can stand up. He's in lawfare right now for defending the constitutional right in an article on his weblog. You will read about riots from left-wing extremists in Stuttgart last year. You will read about Muslim rioters in Bonn and Solingen, about Muhammad cartoons. You will read that some politicians promote Sharia law and try to limit free speech. And you will realize that media and universities promote Sharia law sometimes. And you will get informed about the background of the Muslim organizations in Germany and their agenda, following strictly the IOC and the Muslim Brotherhood. But we will never surrender. Let's continue spreading the truth about Islam. Let's do it in order to save freedom and liberty for the future of our children and grandchildren. After fascism and communism, we do not want to be subjected again under another totalitarian ideology, this time Islam. Therefore, report and advertise the truth about Islamic supremacism, about creeping Sharia, and about this evil threat for the whole civil world. United we stand, and united we shall win. Thank you.